Today, let's take a look at an odd, oft-forgotten, and very short-lived quirk in the history of the Tyne and Wear Metro. That time they swapped the lines over. If you take a look at a map of the Metro from between 2002 and 2005, you'll notice that something doesn't quite look right to contemporary eyes. The green line goes to South Shields, and the yellow line goes to South Hilton. But that's the other way round to how the routes have existed ever since. So how come this was the case for such a short period of only 3 years? Well, if we look further back to maps of the system from the 90s, we can see the progression in a way that makes more sense. Back then, the green line ran from the airport to South Shields, and the yellow line ran from St James around the loop before stopping at Pelaw. This made sense to even out the comparative length of each line, otherwise one would have been much shorter than the other. So far, so sensible. And then come 2002 and the major opening of the Sunderland extension through to South Hilton, and you can almost see the thought process in action. The green line already runs to South Shields, so let's do the obvious thing of extending the yellow line from its previous terminus at Pelaw along the new bit. That makes sense. And that's how things were laid out for the next 3 years. But in 2005, and note that this is before the opening of Northumberland Park and later Simonside Station, they swapped the yellow and green lines into the configuration we're familiar with today. Why? Well, 3 obvious explanations present themselves. 1. The yellow line had ended up much longer than the green, meaning a big variance in journey time and distance worked for drivers, which likely caused issues with balancing rotas and duties, considering the single shared depot for the whole system. 2. Considering the greatly divergent line lengths, any delays on the section to Sunderland shared with mainline rail, which would be more out of the control of the Metro, would end up having more adverse impacts on the longer and busier yellow line. And 3. Anyone travelling from Sunderland to the airport would need to change trains, and there was a PR advantage to being able to claim that residents of both cities could get to the airport in a single-seat trip. And so the lines were swapped, and the map layout as we know it today came into being, with its more elegant symmetry in the branching of the lines and better balancing out of the line lengths themselves, although the yellow line still takes longer to traverse from end to end. But on the whole, I think it was a sound decision on the part of the operators, though it does leave us looking back on that strange short period in the mid-2000s where the lines were just wrong.